Should you buy a home right now or should you wait? This is the golden question, and it's probably the only question that I get asked as much as, is the housing market going to crash? We are certainly in unprecedented times. Never in the history of America have we experienced a buying frenzy and home values skyrocketing like we're seeing today. So in this video, I'll be answering the questions, should I buy a home right now or should I wait? And is this housing market going to crash? Hi, I'm Ty the Real Estate Guy, and if you'd like to stay up to date on the latest real estate tips and trends, subscribe to my channel below and ring that little bell. If you have questions or comments at any time during this video, please leave a message below. I'll do my best to respond to each one of you. If you're looking to buy, sell, or build a home in Utah, please feel free to call or text. I'd love to talk to you. Also, you'll want to watch to the end where I'll explain just how powerful homeownership is and make some recommendations that will help you understand the home buying process better. Just so you know, I'm a huge proponent of homeownership for a lot of reasons, and I'll tell you why in a moment. But I want to make sure you understand that I am making these videos to educate and inform you. I am not telling you what to do because, number one, what you choose to do with your time and money is none of my business. Number two, I don't know your personal circumstances. And number three, no one can predict what the housing market's going to do. For those of us who study the market, we can get a pretty good grasp on what should happen. But one natural disaster or a political disaster could change everything. For instance, if mortgage rates were to increase to 4%, that would turn millions of home buyers into long-term renters. Millions more would no longer qualify to buy a house, and they'd need to settle for a condo, a townhome, or a smaller, older home away from the city. I'm not joking when I say that even though it still feels like it's a good time to buy a home today, my very next video could be telling you not to buy a home right now because something has changed. My goal is to make sure you have the most relevant information right now. Buying a home is a huge commitment, and it's not a decision that should be taken lightly. And no doubt, buying a home isn't the right decision for everyone. Okay, question number one. Should I buy a home because mortgage rates are near all-time lows? The answer is yes. Actually, it's not that cut and dry. It's important that you have a firm understanding of your local market. Here in Salt Lake City and the surrounding areas, really the whole state of Utah, we are in a severe housing shortage. So the housing market should remain strong through 2021 and most likely into 2022. In places like Chicago, New York City, Los Angeles, and San Francisco, where the market is already showing signs of a slowdown, you might want to wait or at least do some deeper research. I should also mention that these super low mortgage interest rates give you $50,000 to $70,000 in additional buying power. This really helps to offset those skyrocketing home prices. Question number two, should I buy a home because inventory is low? Of course not. That's silly. This low inventory has driven home values to record highs in most parts of the country. The higher prices go, the more likely you are to see a correction. Once again, you want to understand your local market. Depending on where you live, it might be a great time to buy, but it also might be a good time to exercise a little caution. Question number three, should I buy a home because prices are going up fast? First of all, you should never panic buy, especially something as major as a house. And you shouldn't buy a home on speculation or with the expectation that home values will always go up. So the short answer is no. You shouldn't buy a house simply because prices are skyrocketing. But if you're in a stable financial position and you're planning on living in the same area for several years, buying a home is usually a great financial decision. Even if the market was to flatline for a few years or even go down a little, owning a home is still better than paying rent. When you purchase a home to live in, don't view it as an investment. It's a place for you to live where you can lock in a monthly payment that you're comfortable with. And because home values have always gone up over time, buying a house is the best, safest investment most of you will ever make. Number four, should I wait for the housing market to crash? I would say no, because the market is not expected to crash anytime soon. If you'd like to take an in-depth look, check out my video, The Housing Market Crash, The Truth. I'll put a link to this video below. Question number 5, will the housing market correct? Well, the current housing market is unhealthy and it can't possibly be sustained. At some point, different metros will hit a pricing ceiling. Even if homes keep selling, prices will stabilize and most likely decrease in many areas. Truly, we are in a very strange housing market. On the surface, the madness doesn't seem to make sense, but if you take a deeper look, it's easy to see why so many people are buying homes right now and why home prices are skyrocketing. It's a simple issue of supply and demand. Home builders have been underbuilding for a decade since the recession, and it's left us nationwide in a severe housing shortage. We also have the millennials hitting the market. They've caused a sudden surge. As a matter of fact, they make up approximately 1/3 of the buyers today. Also, thanks to COVID-19, a lot of people are looking to upsize, not wanting to get trapped in a dank little apartment, condo, or townhome without a yard. The coronavirus is also responsible for the Great Migration, as people flee larger cities to places like Utah with open space and looser government mandates. There are many other reasons, but none are bigger than these record low mortgage interest rates. These super low rates have not only increased the number of first-time home buyers, but we've also seen a huge upswing in buyers looking for a second home and investors. All these factors have caused home prices to soar in most areas. In Utah, believe it or not, we've seen a 27% gain in home values from the same time last year. If you'd purchased a $400,000 home last year in Utah, it would be valued at more than $500,000 today. Not too shabby. But due to these crazy increases in home prices, a lot of people have been priced out of the market, mostly first-time home buyers. That's a huge bummer. If mortgage rates were to suddenly increase, it would knock hundreds of thousands, if not millions of more people out of the market. This is where you'd see the market really start to bog down and potentially see prices decrease in weaker markets. Recently, the National Association of Home Builders reported that 60% of all US households are not able to afford a median-priced new home. They also stated that each time the price of a home goes up just $1,000, more than 150,000 people are priced out of the market. So nationwide, as home prices continue to skyrocket, potential home buyers are falling out of the market by the millions. It's reported that more than 75 million people can no longer afford to buy a home. In other words, this is a very unhealthy market and it just can't be sustained. But does that mean there's going to be a housing market crash? Not necessarily, but at some point, the madness has to end. Here's some recent housing numbers. The National Association of Realtors reported in April that the median existing single-family home price jumped 18.4% to a historic high of $334,000. The lack of inventory and super low mortgage rates are to blame, but we will soon hit a breaking point where the interest rates are no longer enough to make up for these insane price increases. Most experts are predicting that mortgage rates will increase this year, and some are saying they could even hit 4%. I don't see that happening, but you never know. Historically, 4% is an amazing mortgage interest rate, but with a huge jump in home prices, this would knock millions upon millions of buyers out of the market. And in my opinion, we would see an immediate market correction. All right, I'm gonna pause real quick because I wanna ask you a question. What's holding you back from buying a home? I really wanna hear from you. Please comment below. And please, will you give this video a thumbs up? I would appreciate it more than you know, and a thumbs up will help others see that this video is helpful. Thanks. Okay, let's answer the question. Should you buy a home right now or should you wait? As I mentioned earlier, I'm a huge proponent of homeownership. Owning real estate will be the best financial decision that most of you ever make. But for some, it's been a huge mistake. Like I said earlier, not everyone should buy a home. Only you know your personal circumstances. Because buying a house will most likely be the biggest and most important financial decision you ever make, I'd recommend the following. First of all, don't go at it alone. Find a trusted real estate advisor where you're looking to buy a home and allow them to guide you through the process. If a house payment is going to push you to your limit, maybe you should hold off or look for something less expensive. You'll also want to get a loan approval before you spend any time looking at properties. If you're comfortable with the payment, including the closing costs and the down payment, you want to get out and look at homes that you can afford. Your realtor can give you the most up-to-date list of available homes in your price range. And by the way, the list of available homes will change daily in this type of market. What's here today is often gone tomorrow. And I know that I've said this in previous videos, but when you purchase a home, make sure you have stable employment and 6 months of living expenses saved up after you close on the house. 3 months at a bare minimum. Don't buy a home if you're going to be living paycheck to paycheck. For those of you who've never owned a home, there are no words to explain how wonderful it is to have a place of your own, a place you can call home. The best benefits aren't financial, but the financial benefits are incredible. And I can sum it up with one statistic. Are you ready for it? Homeowners are more than 40 times wealthier than renters. Not 40% wealthier, 40 times wealthier. Do you know how insane that is? To show you actual numbers from a survey done in 2019, a renter's net worth was $6,270. A homeowner's net worth was closer to $255,000. That's a significant difference. But I guarantee you, after the huge run the housing market has had since 2019, that gap is significantly larger. You'd think that this information alone would convince anyone to start saving and buy a home as soon as possible. Here's the thing though, you should buy a home because you want to, not because you think it'll make you rich, not because mortgage rates are amazing, and certainly not because everyone is telling you to. When you decide that you want to buy a home, speak to a lender so you know how much home you can afford and what your monthly payment will be. If you're comfortable with the monthly payment, then you should consider moving forward, because when you buy a home, that payment will pretty much stay the same for the next 30 years. Rent can increase every single year, with the cost of rent doubling or tripling during that same 30-year time period. To take this a step further, after 30 years, your house will be paid off and you'll live the rest of your life with no monthly payment. After 30 years of paying rent, you'll still be paying rent until you die. And after 30 years of home ownership, your house could easily be worth 2 to 3 times more than what you paid for it. A $350,000 home could easily be worth more than $1 million. After paying rent for 30 years, you'll have nothing to show for it. Honestly, I'm not trying to push you into doing something that you don't want to do, but I can confidently tell you that owning just one home could make you wealthy and allow you to retire sooner. And it will drastically increase your quality of life. With all the benefits that I just mentioned, you can see how it wouldn't really matter if you overpay for a house today, because of the value you'll receive over the years. If you're feeling intrigued and you'd like to learn more, I recommend you watch my video on renting versus owning a home, or why you need to buy a house right now. And as promised, here's my list of recommended videos to guide you through the process of buying a home. The first-time buyer to-do list. The pros and cons of owning a house. How to find a home builder. How to save money when building a home. If you're planning to move to Utah, or you already live here and you're looking to buy, sell, or build a home, I'd love to talk with you. Please feel free to contact me directly. If there's something in this video that stood out to you as being helpful, or if you have questions, please comment below. Sincerely, I want to hear from you. If you know someone who's thinking about buying a home, please share this video with them. And please don't forget to hit the subscribe button below and ring the bell to be notified each time I post new videos. Also, you can find me on Instagram at Ty the Real Estate Guy. If you found this information helpful, please give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to ring that little bell below. It'll make you feel good.